Hey people, um, I've just come off a video that a friend told me about. He thought I may be interested in the subject involved, which is cyberbullying. The video basically is about a young woman called Amanda Todd, and this video is quite widely distributed now, and is basically something of a suicide message. I want to talk a bit about this for the issues that are involved. Basically, for those of you who haven't seen the video, this involves a young woman, 16 I believe, a girl who, through the most intense sort of cyberbullying, decided to take her own life. What she says she holds up cards and explains what she went through, the ordeal that she went through. From what I understand, she when she was she had uploaded some videos of herself, rather naive videos, whereby she I think she showed her breasts or something, but this basically led to a very, very sick sort of backlash, and it got completely taken out of all context. And I'll pass a link to that video so that you can see for yourself what exactly happened. She holds up the cards and explains the sort of process, the sort of development that her bullying went through. And this just makes me very sad, very depressed, thinking about what this poor girl went through in these months. The sort of humiliation, the sort of being misled by guys. One guy threatened, basically how it spiraled out of control is that one guy, I'm sorry, I'm still a bit troubled by this. One guy basically demanded a private showing, and when she refused, he then distributed pictures of her to everyone in her high school. They all found out. She got relentlessly bullied for this. She ended up completely alone, completely desperate, and she ended up killing herself. I don't have space in this video to talk about all the ins and outs about exactly what happened in her bullying case, except to say it's very, very unsettling, and certainly not the first time something like this has happened. There's been numerous videos online in recent years about young people who have taken their own lives through this sort of bullying, especially based on a sexual nature. A lot of young women have killed themselves due to the sort of pressure of it really saddens me and really, really angers me. And there's a few things I'd like to say. Firstly, to the scumbag who distributed her photos, I really hope he's proud of himself for what he's done. He's got her blood on his hands. Hope he's proud of himself. Piece of shit. But I'd also like to call out some people who I notice on the thread to this video were making rather disgusting comments, and I'm going to name and shame them, because I think the sort of comments they were coming out with, a simple reply to them doesn't really suffice. I love assful. Okay, that's this user. I love assful. Some of your comments are despicable. Everyone with a conscience can see what you're coming out with. You're probably just an attention seeker, so I'm probably giving you the attention you want, but you're a piece of shit. You know, to say that she's a cam whore and she deserves it just shows how utterly disgusting your mindset is. Nobody deserves that sort of bullying. She may have been a little naive at first, but that does not justify this sort of relentless bullying that she went through. And there's someone else I'd like to call out who came out with a pretty tasteless comment. I'm afraid there's a lot of tasteless comments, and sadly, you know, when these sort of things happen, low-life cards always come out of the woodwork. Always some pathetic, sick little people who try to get attention for themselves by mocking or justifying someone else's tragedy. You know, some people really just are sickening. Tiffany Twisted. Well, she shouldn't have sent her boobs to guys like a whore, fucker, wrestling, smut, juice, bitch. Even an attention whore after she's dead. Typical America. I'm not even going to read all that out. Tiffany Twisted, you're another pathetic card. Another despicable low-life card. Are you telling me you've never made a mistake in your life? You know, this girl may have been naive, but she doesn't deserve what she went through. And you're disgusting. You're just disgusting. So I love Asphalt, Tiffany Twisted. Who else do we have here? I mean, I'm sad to say there's quite a number of people who are trying to get but I want to call them out and just tell them what absolute gutless cards I think they are. And if these lowlifes think they're going to bring me down, they'll think again. Because, yeah. Here's another individual, Mac Hard. To be honest, I feel no pity. You never expose yourself on the internet, everyone knows that. I would say that this be an example to those of you who send nude pictures back and forth from your cell phones, but I have a feeling you're all too dumb to learn a lesson from this. Also, if you notice, her grammar in those postcards is horrible, therefore it's probably for the better. Her grammar? Are you for real? I'm an English teacher, and the idea that someone deserves to die because of having bad grammar, and actually I didn't notice any major that's besides the point. You're another piece of shit, my card. Not quite as bad as the others, but the idea that she deserves to die. So Tiffany Twisted, I like Asphalt, Matt Card. These three individuals, these three cards, who are probably gutless bullies. And all bullies are cards. I mean, you know, in the video that the young girl talks about how a group of 15 people were surrounding her, and that sort of bullying I really think is repulsive, and it really makes me sick to the core. All bullying's bad, but the very most disgusting form of bullying in my opinion is a gang group of people who attack an individual, and if you join that group you deserve to have no peace for years because you're a piece of shit. This really makes my blood boil. It also inspires me to want to do something for people like Amanda. It's just tragic that this young woman couldn't... I'm not going to say ignore what was online because obviously this had went viral, but it's just tragic that she couldn't find some answers, find someone that could have given her some support, friendship. It's utterly tragic. And I really do think bullies deserve severe karma. Those sort of bullies, I think. It really saddens me that these sick, disgusting people can get away with this. And I believe it also reiterates the fact that we really need a zero tolerance policy to bullying. In my opinion, the guy who distributed those photos should be facing criminal charges for manslaughter on the grounds that he drove this young girl to her suicide. As for the guy that misled her when he already had a girlfriend, shame on him as well. I would say if there's any sort of bright light from this, it would be that millions of decent people around the world, they have compassion for Amanda. Yes, there are low lives like those individuals I named who are trying to get attention, but millions of decent people can see this for what it is, a disgusting form of bullying of a vulnerable young woman. And absolutely nothing she done leads to the conclusion that she deserves death. We all make mistakes in life. Maybe what she done was a little naive, but the bullying that came with that was absolutely... So Matt Card to say, you know, everyone knows the consequences, don't do it. This was a 15-year-old girl, 16 when she died. Are you really such a cold bastard that you cannot see some sort of sympathy with that? Are you really such a cold, unfeeling piece of shit? I mean, this really troubles me. The fact people can't even give this girl peace after she's gone. My heart goes out to her family. No words that I can say can change that, but I do think bullying, we need to start really taking it a lot more seriously. We need to take bullying as I believe it should be a criminal offence, in fact. At the moment it's treated as taboo, bullies will be told off, but I think we actually need to start treating it like a criminal offence in itself and have some sort of system. I don't propose I know all the answers here, but I have had abundant experience of bullying, and I do believe we need some sort of I believe that we need to have some sort of approach to make this something that is simply not tolerated. We may not be able to stop it completely, but I think that there's much more severe consequences for the bullies. They get away with it because they haven't actually technically committed any crime. That's why they get away with it, and that's why these vermin can just... That's why there's no justice when it comes to bullying. It makes my blood boil. I'm not a religious person, but I would like to think that people who die in tragic circumstances, there's some sort of peace for them. And this happens, it isn't just in the United States, it happens all over the world. It's happened in Britain. You can find it in any country. That's the same bullshit in any country. Bullies are the same the world over. They're all gutless cards. Vermin, weak little people who will find who need to hurt others to get their kicks or to make themselves feel good. I mean, you know, that one thing that strikes me is people are saying she deserves to die and saying she was a slut and so on. Let's be clear about this. This young woman killed herself. Now, for someone to kill himself, the emotional turmoil they're going through must be immense, because that's what it takes for someone to make that final push to take their own life. So for people saying, you know, she was just a slut, she wasn't bullied, you're clueless. I don't know if they were her actual bullies, but you know, these people are probably bullies in real life, or for them to have such little compassion, such crudeness, really makes me sick. Mac hard, you know. I'm sorry, I'm actually distracted because I'm so angry about this. Okay, I'm going to leave it there because there isn't really much else I could say. But I've called out those cards that were I'd like them to say that to me, or someone else that they can't put down, because I'd put them into the ground, bury them. I absolutely despise bullies with every fibre of my being, and I believe we need to make it a criminal offence. And there's no such thing as a soft approach for bullies. No such thing. You have to... The only approach that works with these clowns is a hard one. And I just hope this young woman rests in peace. If there's any sort of respite from this, it's the fact that millions of decent people can see the tragedy. Okay. I'll leave it there for now. Cheers.